going on, everybody? Crazy Dog back with my second video of the day. And as you can see by the words above my head, this is going to be my Browns off-season wish list video. And in this video, I'm just going to give you my three main, objectives for the Cleveland Browns to address this offseason. Mainly positions. I'm not going to name any players, at least not yet. I'm not going to be naming any potential targets until right around free agency because by then, franchise tags would have been handed out. We'll see who gets extended and we'll see who gets traded. And then probably like a week before free agency, I'll do my free agent target videos like I always do. Before I get into this video, be sure to go check out my first video I did earlier today where I talked about the possibility of CJ Stroud returning to Ohio State. I know it's not likely, but it sure is possible. You never know. So with that being said, let's get into my first objective for the Cleveland Browns heading into this offseason. Improve the interior D-line. Yeah, this is definitely objective number one for the Cleveland Browns. They must, and I mean must, improve the interior D-line. Because what I had to watch every game this season was pretty much every opposing team running it right up the gut. I cannot tell you how many times this Browns team got dog walked up the field. I mean, the freaking Falcons did it perfectly against us. They had a whole entire drive where they ran the ball up the middle on us, and we could not stop them. The worst part was it wasn't even Cordarrelle Patterson doing it. It was Huntley and Algier doing it. Like, come on, man. You're going to let two backup running backs kill you like that? My God, man. We really got to fortify the interior D-line. I hope the Browns spend most of their money on the interior D-line. Now, I said I'm not going to mention any players, but obviously there's one player that a lot of Browns fans want to go after, and that is Daron Payne. And I just don't know if we're going to be able to get him, mainly because I think the Commanders are going to do anything possible to keep him. I don't think he leaves Washington. So most likely we're going to have to look elsewhere. I've seen guys like Dalvin Tomlinson and Poona Ford mentioned in an article from Bleacher Report. Those are two guys I would consider. For the right price, of course. Wouldn't mind those guys. But yeah, I'd say improving the D-line is definitely top of the list. Objective number 2 for the Cleveland Browns. Get us some depth at linebacker and secondary. Yeah, I mean, look at what our linebacking core looked like at the end of the season. All of our starting linebackers were out for the year. I mean, it got so bad, we had Reggie Ragland starting games for us. Now, Deion Jones, that was a very good acquisition. Thank God we got him when we did, because we really needed him. Oh, yeah. If we didn't get him, I don't know what our linebacking core would have looked like. I mean, he was solid. He probably won't be back next year because we took away his other deal, the rest of his contract when we first acquired him. So we essentially had him on a 1-year deal. See if we bring him back on a cheaper contract, but I wouldn't mind it. I guess you could say he was kind of like this team's version of Malcolm Smith, a little bit. In case you're wondering what happened to Malcolm, he retired after last year. That had to have been the quietest retirement I have seen ever. Like, no one even talked about him. He just vanished. It's like, where did he go? Oh, yeah, he retired. That's right. He was talking about retiring before last season. But yeah, we really need linebacker depth and secondary depth too. Because it seems, especially for us, those two positions have been hit the hardest by injuries over the last couple of years. So we definitely need depth there, especially at linebacker. Especially at linebacker. Considering most of our starters, the ones that are coming back anyway, are all coming off of injury. Takitaki's a free agent. We'll see if he's back. I'd love him back. I mean, JOK got hurt. Jacob Phillips got hurt. Anthony Walker's a free agent. I don't know if we'll bring him back, but he got hurt. And it's not like they were small injuries either. They all had pretty serious injuries. So that's nice. We'll see what we do there. Secondary wise, I mean, mainly safety. I think we're going to need a new number 3 safety because Ronnie Harrison's not coming back. I highly doubt it. I don't know why we brought him back in the first place. JJ3, we might get rid of him, and Delpit really played himself into a spot next year. At corner, I think we're pretty set at corner. And then objective number 3 for the Cleveland Browns. This is a pretty good one. Acquire a speedy receiver via draft, trade, or free agency. Yep. We're starting to see Browns fans on Twitter start naming their favorites when it comes to draft, trade, or some potential free agent receivers. We've already seen a couple possible trade targets, former players who played with Deshaun, you know, Hopkins and Cooks. Some people have mentioned like Kenny Stills, Will Fuller over the season. We actually had Kenny Stills in for a workout earlier this year, but nothing came of it. We'll see what other receiver options pop up as the offseason gets going. But if I was Andrew Berry, I would definitely consider going out and getting a guy that Deshaun has worked with, like Brandon Cooks. I think between Cooks and Hopkins, I think Cooks seems like the most likely option because I just feel like Hopkins is going to cost a little bit more. Not to mention he wants a new contract. Well, I don't know what we're going to do when it comes to that demand. But yeah, I think Cooks would be an amazing acquisition to add to this team to go with Amari and DPJ. But could you imagine real quick if we got Hopkins somehow? How lethal our receiving core would be? Not to mention, in case you didn't know, the Browns are planning on changing their philosophy a little bit. They're going to turn into more of a throwing team, like a spread, not like an air raid-ish team. Because Jimmy Haslam, in case you didn't know as well, he's a booster for the University of Tennessee. And he saw what they were doing, and he, I guess, wants the Browns to kind of mimic that. Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked if they made a run at D Hop. I think one of the big keys with him is he has a no trade clause. So he could decide where he wants to go. So if the Browns came calling, makes you wonder, would he accept a trade to Cleveland to play with his boy Deshaun? And that'd be lit. That would be lit, man. Just, D Hop, Amari with DPJ in the slot. Like, my God. Two receivers out on the outside who can moss you and embarrass you. And then you have DPJ who has decent hands, and he's pretty good too. Don't sleep on DPJ. But like I said, I think Brandon Cooks seems like the most likely trade option. I haven't really seen too many receivers in the draft yet. I mean, there's some names out there that Browns fans have been throwing around, like Zay Flowers. He seems like a legit one. I think he's from Boston College. I'm sure there's going to be many, many more popping up as we get closer to the draft. And I haven't really been looking at free agent receivers right now, but I'll start looking into that over the next couple weeks as I get ready to do my free agent target videos. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Let me know what you think of my 3 objectives on the wish list. Maybe name some potential options, for the interior D line, linebacker / secondary, and receiver that you think the Browns could go after, whether it's trade, free agency, or draft. I think the Browns are going to address all 3 spots before next season. They have to. If they don't, well, I don't know what they're thinking. Because think about this, guys. Kevin Stefanski, the rest of the coaching staff in the front office, yeah, their leash just got a little bit shorter. Joe Woods was the first one to bite the dust. And if this continues, I feel like Kevin could easily be next. I think they're going to give Kevin a full season with Deshaun to see what they can do. And if we don't win at least, I think, like 9, 10, 11 games and make the playoffs, then I think Kevin might be a goner. And we'll be right back where we usually are, right around this time, looking for another head coach. And on the bright side, at least we'd have a franchise quarterback, right? Yep. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. As always, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you all tomorrow for Jaguars and Chargers on Walk Off Sports Talk, my guy JB Taylor's channel. And should be a fun day of football tomorrow. The NFL playoffs are officially here. It's freaking crazy, isn't it? You know, the craziest thing is, by the time it's over, we'll be even closer to the NBA trade deadline. So essentially, the NFL playoffs will take us pretty much right to the NBA trade deadline, which is pretty dope. So, and of course, if the Cavs make any trades, you already know I'll be here with a video or a stream. If it's a big trade, I'll stream it, my reaction. But if it's a smaller trade, or let's say like it happens when I'm sleeping, I'll wake up and make a video on it. But with that being said, guys, that's going to wrap it up for this one. I'm Crazy Dog. Let's go Browns. Wow, another off season's already here. Can't believe it, man. This season went by way too quick. Wow. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Browns, and I'm out.